Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to our subscriber game Tournament Season 3 as we continue with our round of 8 matchup between Yulia and SA Wang. This will be their second match as SA Wang took the first win on the attacking side of the siege battle and now he must defend. So let's take a look at the pick ban and see how things have changed. And as Yulia is now the attacking side, she gets first ban and first pick. And things have definitely been adjusted as we can see that Wang Fusong is banned, followed by Zhang Jiao, Yuan Shao, Yan Baihu, Lu Zhi, and Liu Chong. And the adjustment right away from Yulia's side is the banning of both Wang Fusong and Lu Zhi, as she has seen enough of those Defender of Empires. And Yuan Shao is banned for a similar effect as he can grant Distant Courage and make other units near unbreakable. Then for SA Wang, the bans are mostly the same with Zhang Jiao and Liu Chong, but Liu Zhang's been taken out. In its place, we have Yan Baihu, as he does not want to deal with the invisible units as well as the poison volley. Then for the first pick on Yulia's side, we have Xu Huang being picked, a strong pick all around, high health, unbreakable, great axe, good abilities, and also a good selection of units. Then to answer Xu Huang, we have Lu Bu, who is the other super good unbreakable unit clearing general available. A little bit less health being a vanguard, but definitely a lot stronger in terms of weapon stats. Then looking at bans, we have SA Wang banning out Wen Chou, and that's followed by Yulia banning out Kong Rong, as she's worried about Furies of Beihai on the defensive side, and SA Wang banned Wen Chou last time as well. Overall, just a decent general with a good roar ability. And then for picks, this time SA Wang gets the first pick and he locks in Liu Zhang, who he did not ban this time. So we have a ceasefire comp, which is very interesting. Wonder what unit he's going to bring on Liu Zhang. And then for Yulia, it's answered with Zhang Liang, a general that she has picked many times during her open field battles, as she prefers his Tyrant Slayers as an aid to kill enemy generals. It's going to be a little bit difficult to use for siege battles, mainly because you cannot have free reign of the cavalry inside a city. Those narrow streets are going to constrict their charges. But then for the last round of ban, we have Sun Ce being banned by Yulia again. She's worried about the roar ability. And SA Wang bans Lady Zhurong again. This ban is actually kind of good because Lady Zhurong is very good on attack. Her mace can be just used as sort of a side swipe. She can just run in the town and whatever her mace touches in terms of the buildings, they will actually burn. So she's actually really good for a burning comp for these type of siege battles. And that leaves both players with one secret pick. And for Yulia, she's going with Yan Yu, which is a bandit that has mending. Interesting pick. I'm not a big fan of this, but Yulia tend to like to play champions, which is something she did in Season 2. And now we have Yan Yu added to the roster. And on SA Wang side on the defense, we have Fa Zheng making an appearance. A very powerful general with the mock ability. There's a weird interaction with it with the siege walls, but on the defensive side, it's hard to use these infinite abilities because you can't stall. The attacking side can take their time, but the defensive side really can't because the offensive side is supposed to force your hand. So we'll see how many mocks SA Wang can get out of Fa Zheng. And looking at the units on both sides, no surprises here. Yulia has gone with those Tyrant Slayers on Zhang Liang, and we have a field of Qingzhou units for Xu Huang, plus one Northern Veteran Saber unit. I think that infantry can have turtle formation. That might be what Yulia want to use in terms of getting tower aggro. And then on Yan Yu, we have a mix of cheap infantry, some White Tiger Raiders for poison. They're not going to have stock, but they still have poison damage. It's still a decent archer unit. And then we have a couple axe users, I forgot their name, but a pretty decent offensive unit. Not super glass cannon, but not super good defensively. We have a Ye Remnant Warrior, which actually has decent defensive stat, also pretty good offensively. Just a couple cheap infantry. And then finally we have another Defender of Earth for Oil Arrow. This is the weapon that's going to be used against those towers as well as the inside of the settlement to burn most of that. We'll see if she can get her way. And then for SA Wang, we have a full spam of Dongzhou Spear Guards, which is a weird choice. They're not very good, but they do have a bow capability. Curious choice. I mean, when Zhang Liang's picked, you expect cavalry, so having a little bit of Dongzhou does help. 2 yellow dragons to help clear enemy infantries. Definitely interesting comp, but very one-dimensional being all infantry. I wonder how that's going to come into play. It's going to be a pretty passive defense in this case. Since there's no trebuchets for Yulia's side, we could end up with a strategy where all these Dongzhou beings are on the walls defending against Yulia's attack. That would be quite interesting, as they can shoot and also do decently well in melee. And it'll come down to the general ability usage, especially with Ceasefire and Mock being available for Wang Pei. And also Dragon Gates is also quite good. Maybe Lu Bu can remove that one single unit that has Turtle. Essentially, if Yulia's comp loses that northern infantry as well as the Defender of Earth, then it's very difficult for her comp to actually maneuver through the settlement because of those towers inside. So perhaps those are high priority targets and Lu Bu can try to kill them. Liu Zhang can always threaten with Ceasefire to kind of cover Lu Bu's escape, and they also have Dragon Gates to stop those Tyrant Slayers. So there's definitely some options. Curious to see what SA Wang Pei decides to do here on the defense, as he looks to go for the sweep and end things before the potential open field tiebreaker. So let's take a look at deployment and how things played out. Looking at deployment here, seems like SA Wang Pei has been fooled by the same trick he did to Yulia in the previous match. Left those 2 siege weapons in the forest as a bait, leading to the deployment of both siege weapons, and Yulia has gone to the forest on the other side. This is the side we mentioned where the forest is really close to the walls, and if you want to climb the walls, this would be your entryway into the settlement. Wonder if they're going to try to burn it first. The White Tiger Raiders being left in the open, I don't think they have stock. I could be wrong. Oh, they do! They come with stock and snipe. Well, that's impressive. So they can be very useful, but only poison arrows. Let's see how this plays out then. I'm surprised this unit's not pushed up to the front with Turtle to absorb aggro to open up these to shoot, but I guess they can take a little bit of damage. It's not going to hurt that badly. They have snipe mainly because we're giving the Stalker trait, which does not give stock. They will get hit, but 1 arrow is enough to burn. I don't know if we have an overreaction here or not, because only 1 unit being shown doesn't really convince you to move all the units over, because it could just be a ploy, right? Leave 1 unit over here and then still attack from another side, so can't overreact too much. I mean, for the defensive side on this very heavily forested map, bringing a strategist that actually have foresight might be a good decision. That way no unit can hide even from the towers. But unfortunately, so far, no one has gone with that strategy. Yet, you know, there is a strategist present here in Fa Zheng. Now, the problem with Fa Zheng that we are going to talk about more in our next pair matchup is the fact that the Mock ability is a point-and-click ability that has no range indicators. So normally on the open field battle, when you click an enemy general with Mock, he will run up to the general within 50 meters and perform the action. But if he's physically unable to reach the enemy general, then he will run into an object that blocks his path and then execute the Mock. So on defense, this does not work at all. But on offense, what happens is, if you control Fa Zheng, and let's say Fa Zheng is right here, and that's Fa Zheng's target, that distance is usually entirely out of reach. But if I point and click, so Fa Zheng's here, and we target this target here, Fa Zheng will run up to the wall, trying to get to 50 meters of the target. But he will fail when he bumps into the wall. And at that point, the code actually executes the Mock. So you end up getting infinite range Mock if you can't access your target. So that could be an exploit that we run into. This is something that I realized a little bit too late. Essentially, I did not know this bug existed, never thought about it. But one of our players is going to end up using this bug, and it did cause a bit of an issue. Although I don't think it was malicious. I think it was just discovered by accident for him as well. As if you just read the skill, it doesn't have a range indicator on the skill. It just says require enemy target. So the coding on this is really poorly done, and it will be patched up by the mod for the finals. But on defense, it's not useful because he will actually just run out of the door since he can actually access the enemy, and he will just try to mock the enemy target within 50 meters. It will be patched to 150 meters to give him a bit more range because 50 is a little bit close. Want him to have the same flavor where you're just basically cursing out the enemy and dealing damage. Now once this set of tower goes down, actually even before then, these units can start trying to do some damage on those very valuable yellow dragons. They should actually push up, and they should actually come right over here and shoot at these units for free, dealing the poison damage. And if anyone comes out to answer, they'll be right there to respond, and they can't really do anything at that point. So that would be a good strategy. We'll see if Yulia decides to pull that, because it seems pretty clear that all these units have been shifted back. They're convinced that the attack's coming from this side, given that the tower is getting destroyed, essentially. Trying to use the forest to keep the snipe active. If they can shoot from the forest, they can keep the snipe with the stalker trait, and then they can just not take damage. But it seems like most of the distance are beyond the forest range, so they have to walk out. Oh, they're getting hit. They're getting hit. That's a lot of free damage. Yeah, they either have to commit or stay in the forest. They need to stay healthy, because, or else this is going to be a big problem. Now, Liu Zhang should actually run out and destroy this thing. It's a very key unit for this entire strategy, because if he wants to defend here using these towers, he needs to kill that unit. The risk of running into Tyrant Slayer is real, but with both Ceasefire and Dragon's Gates, I feel like there's a really easy way to just run out if you do bump into that trap. Yulia made a really big mistake of losing her White Tiger Raiders to nothing last match. I feel like she's doing a similar thing here, because they're not protected. That doesn't actually help the poison tick. They're ready in turtle. That range protection does nothing against the poison. They will still tick away. They have to respond. Liu Bu has to charge out. It's a very, very passive comp. There's no cavalry units at all. It's a bunch of Dongzhuo Bing. They should be on the walls, by the way. I don't know why they're sitting here. There's no strategist threat. There's no siege weapon threat. They should just all be on the walls, actually. Because the siege weapons are over here. They can't access that. They have to climb walls. So to stop that... Alright, the settlement's getting lit on fire. Liu Bu's going out by himself? That is a target, but by yourself is no good. Alright, he sees the Tyrant Slayers. They've been spotted. If Dongzhuo Bing were here, they can just shoot back, as the tower is doing right now. I don't know why they're crowding here. Oh, Liu Bu's going too far away from the gates. Okay, he's running back. But the next thing will be for this defender to come here and burn these down. To stop that, the Dongzhuo Bing needs to be on the wall and just shoot these targets right now. They're visible. They don't need to be here. There's no access to the rest of the settlement. So I see why Yan Yu is picked. She really wanted to have the White Tiger Raiders, which is definitely a very powerful unit. Alternatively, Zhang Bao could also work with the Yao Guai Hunters, but I think these are cheaper. And they come with stock and snipe. Actually, Yao Guai Hunter also comes with stock and snipe. Alright, they're coming to shoot back. On the walls. Just get on the walls. The enemy has to climb the walls. I don't know why they're not on the walls. Yeah, this doesn't work. They're getting poisoned. I think even if Lu Bu dies, need to kill this thing before they burn the town down. These towers are so valuable. Because there's only one turtle unit. Just send the other general and threaten the ceasefire. Go Mach. Yeah, this is a very easy Mach. The door's not opening for him. The gate bug. No one's attacking him, so this is fine. This could also be a bait, because there's alternatively a different gate bug where it opens and then closes, and if you follow him in, it closes on you. So chasing near the gates has a lot of risk. This unit, need to kill this unit. Oh, just go. That was kind of free because they backed off. This was actually kind of free. He realizes it now. Wrong target. It's going for the turtle. What? Okay, that's too early because he didn't stop the cavalry. Alright, we got some units on the wall. Where are the rest? The way the fire is going to spread, this tower is now gone. This is the only remaining tower because this is not going to spread from anything else. Okay, at least that unit's routed. So the fire source is done. Currently not in turtle. Xu Huang's going to try to break the gate down. It's going to be a slow bash. We'll get it eventually. 8 hits, I think. Oh, we got a Mach. You saw the Mach use getting targeted. It's true damage. 6k gone. That's actually really good. Wonder if he can get another one out. I would actually recommend a yellow dragon charge directly at Xu Huang, with Fa Zheng standing nearby to make sure he can't slam. That's a lot of charge damage. It would actually do a number on him. Okay, gates down, dismounted, trying to kill. Where's the ceasefire? Yeah, where's the ceasefire? Here comes the cavalry. If the yellow dragons do not charge, they're useless. They need to get into a position where they can charge. I mean, Yulia's not in a terrible rush, even though she is getting shot up by archers. The Qingzhou Bing should just climb. I mean, Yulia ideally would love to get all these poison shots out, but then these units don't need to be up here. Because now it's just free damage. Charge. Charge. Charge that. I don't understand Yellow Dragon usage as a defensive unit. It just doesn't make sense. The thing has no defensive stats. Dragon gaze? Oh. Well, the gate's already broken, so there's no... Fa Zheng's not close enough. Alright, we got ceasefire. So? Where's the damage source with ceasefire? Yellow Dragon's so wasted here. They did not charge at anything, and they ceasefire them, so now they can't charge at anything. Alright, Fa Zheng's dumping abilities now, but there's no damage. They're trying to pull other units in. Yeah, unfortunately, the only arrow damage is poison damage. Lu Bu should consider dismounting. Yeah, the units in the back are coming. We have just a bloody fight here. Lu Bu needs to dismount or he's going to get killed. We... Alright, we gotta dismount. But it's literally 1v3. Alright, we got a second Mach, but Lu Bu's gone. We also have the heal from the mending. Fa Zheng's on the run. That ceasefire basically killed Lu Bu. And killed the yellow dragons. Yeah, Fa Zheng's not close. They got the slams in. Yep, this one is pretty much over. A couple of stubborn Dongzhuo Bing that's around. Fa Zheng maybe gets one more mock in, maybe not. Another ceasefire. Gonna die. Alright, too busy killing the Dongzhuo Bing. Alright, now they're coming to whack Liu Zhang. Liu Zhang's gonna die. There we go. Fa Zheng's gonna give his best. Get on his horse. Gonna wait for cooldowns, isn't he? But he's not unbreakable. Army loss is gonna kick in soon. I mean, this was a costly way to enter for Yulia as well, but I think it's better than climbing the walls. The fatigue factor wouldn't have been great, even though this is a huge pile-up. It actually stunted the Yellow Dragon from charging anything. I mean, the ceasefire actually stunted the Yellow Dragon from charging anything. A lot of self-harm. No rush to kill. I mean, at this point, Yulia probably thinks she won. Not a lot of focus on a target here. There's so much health on champions and sentinels that Mach just isn't going to do enough. And they just need to wipe out the last few remaining Dongzhuo Bing for the win here. Alright, and we got the victory. It got settled at the city gates. And taking a look at our number here, pretty well played match. I think for SA Wangping, the general synergies were a little bit disjointed. I don't think he had a clear idea of how to use this comp here. There were some really good opportunities. Lu Bu going out was the correct move. Going out with the other two generals would be an even better move. Getting all the Dongzhuo Bings on the wall early so they can threaten with their bow is probably the thing that was missing. And then once the charge happened, look at the Yellow Dragons. They just stood there and then acted like a regular unit with very poor stats. No big charge, only 5 kills each. Absolutely getting demolished. Lu Bu being trapped next to 3 enemy generals that were dismounted during the ceasefire basically meant he was dead. And then that was just mock-up duty after that point. There were just 2 units that were critical to what Yulia's comp wanted to do, and for that Defender of Earth, Lu Bu definitely had a shot at it. And if he could have killed it, it could have been a lot better. The identifying the turtle setup, he charged at the infantry. I think that was not really the most important target, because if you kill the thing that can burn towers, like, you don't need turtle if all the towers are burnt. So you want to kill the thing that can burn towers down first. Once you clear that, then work on the turtle unit if that's a problem. And once the gate was busted, the Yellow Dragon should have just actively charged out at whatever was coming through the gate. Because holding them in turtle against poison arrows, there was so much spamming of Stone Boric trying to stop missile damage, yet all the missile damage was either explosive damage from bombs or poison damage from poison arrows. None of that is going to get stopped by Stone Boric or turtle. They should just charged out and try to do as much damage as possible. Lu Bu was going to be in a tough situation as well, so maybe if he eliminated that threat from the bomb arrows, then those 4 towers inside would have offered up a lot more support. But unfortunately, that did not turn out that way, as we have officially our tie, 1-1. And we will move on to our tie-break match next, which will be an open field battle. Both players will go back to blind pigs, and we'll see if they go back to their comfort comps from their round 1 matchups. It'll be a different map. That's a very beautiful map. Very excited to show it off. So we'll see you guys in that matchup. Until then, bye.